He's okay. He's okay. Check out this little healthy baby boy. Well, I'm not sure he's a boy yet. Handsome little dude. This is the first animal that was born here on our little homestead. This is Pris's baby. You can see he is fat and healthy, happy. Good little rabbit. But time to move on. Not from the rabbits, but moving forward. I'd like a second form of meat production. So, why don't you chill out back there, Chip? You getting all excited because somebody else has attention? Yeah, somebody else getting attention? So the meat rabbits are up and running. And the next thing I want to do, I'm going to start with Coturnix Quail. I've decided that's going to be my next foray into meat. Sorry if the ducks are making too much noise. They're growing like weeds and they talk a lot. But next thing I'm planning on doing, Chip, stay in there. I'm going to start doing some Coturnix Quail. I have already bought a little giant incubator. I've already bought all my feeders and waters off Scamazon. I've ordered 60 hatching eggs from My Shire Farms. They guarantee a 50% hatch rate, so all the reviews I've read, that's where everybody says if you're trying to start the jumbo line, that's the place to start. So all of that is in the mail currently right now. Incubator should be here later today. Eggs are going to be here next week. I'm going to video every single piece of it, start to finish, show you guys my first foray into hatching out birds. So I've already got my ducks and my chickens. Now I've got the rabbits. Moving on to quail. So you guys are along for the ride. And here's why I like buying from reputable people. Outside box. Beat up. My Shire Farms was smart enough to double box so that none of our eggs have been damaged. The IncuBright flashlight that I ordered with them, and plenty of packing material, and there's our beautiful little jumbo Coturnix quail eggs. Alright, I got them staged out in the quail rails here. They're going to sit on the counter for about 12 hours before they go into the incubator. Because these are jumbos, some of these eggs are so big that they actually can't be stacked in the quail rails side by side, that it ends up standing them up. So they're all sitting pointy end down. Let them sit on the counter for a couple hours, come up to room temp, and they will be heading into the incubator. I also really dig that they send this little card with you. It tells you who collected your eggs and when they were laid. So these eggs were laid on Thursday, and it's Saturday morning. They got them here less than 72 hours. And you get a free pass to go to their website, and they've got classes and video series of how to take care of your quail, hatching them out. That's pretty darn cool. Got the little giant all plugged in. Got our eggs in the egg turner all set up. Starting to temp stabilize. I am leaving the plugs in it right now because humidity is pretty high in the house, and I've had this plugged in for a couple days, playing around with it, getting the temperature set right. Remember to use a second method of checking temperature, because as My Shire Farms and everybody else that knows about hatching eggs knows, that thing lies. Have a second way to check your temperature. Second way to check your humidity is good too. But I'm leaving the plugs in right now. The humidity's at like 50 and we want to have it about 45, so I put the plugs in for now. When we go into lockdown, the plugs will come out. We have reached lockdown day. So I've had my incubator in here. We're day 14, ready for lockdown. Because we need to raise the humidity in the incubator, this morning I came in, first thing, placed a pitcher of water in here. Just keep it close proximity. We're trying to warm this water up. Obviously, you can just get warm water out of the tap, but room temp is what the directions that came with the incubator said to do. So this water's currently about 70 degrees. That way, when we put our eggs in a lockdown, we add the water. This heater doesn't have to take up a whole bunch of energy trying to warm up this water and eventually dropping the temperature down inside the incubator. So water's up to temp. We're going to pull the quail rails out. We're going to go ahead and candle all the eggs, see what our fertility rate is, and then we'll get these guys locked down, and hopefully in 2 to 3 days we'll have some chicks hatching out. All right, let's do some candling. See what kind of fertility we have. Dud. Dud. Good one. I'm just going to go through these one at a time. Go through the whole rack. You can see we have development in that egg. And this is what I was talking about. See how the egg, the light passes all the way through? That's a dud egg. This one, you can see the air sac is illuminated, but there's development in the bottom of the egg. So I'm gonna go through and candle all these. We'll see what our fertility rate is. All right, we have taken our room temperature water, filled up all the channels in the bottom. We've candled all of our eggs, and we have them all in. It is time for lockdown. Put the lid on. Make sure it sits down all the way. We'll let it go back to temperature stabilizing. Looks like we only dropped a few degrees, so we're doing pretty good. Try to do it quick. Like people say, oh, well, you shouldn't have the eggs out of the incubator for any extended period of time. Well, the thing I have to keep in mind, at least from, a farmer's perspective, if those were being incubated by mama quail, she still has to get up every single day, go get food, go get water, go to the bathroom. She still has to get up, go lay other eggs. They might be into the same nest, they might not, because quail do weird things. But so they were out of the incubator for maybe about 3 minutes there after I got them all candled, water in, and now they're into lockdown. So after candling, we have 17 eggs that did not develop. Well, 2 of which started developing, but did not get past like the embryo stage. They've got a little bit of a dark spot, but they definitely stopped. And you can see through the whole egg using your candling flashlight. So 17 eggs out of 60. That means our fertility rate was about 71.5%, 72%. For my Shire Farms, they guarantee a 50% hatch rate. So we're well on track to hit that 50% hatch rate because our fertility rate was really, really good. So they're in lockdown. We will see you guys hopefully when there's either some pipping, some zipping, or some cheeping going on. We got chicks. So wife said they started hatching at about 1 o'clock this afternoon. We're on day 17. There's still chicks hatching. When she initially heard the first peeps, we already had 5. I just did a rough count. It looks like we've got 22 or 23. They're moving around so much, it's pretty hard to tell. But several of them are still hatching out. They're still wet. We gotta wait till they're all nice and dry and fluffy before we can take them out, and then we'll put them in the brooder. So I'll probably pop them out in the morning before I go to work, and we'll take a little clip, put them in the brooder. And I already got the heat lamp set up in there. It's running, so it's warming up everything in the brooder. We've already got our game bird starter crumble. It's already in the feeders. Waters are filled. Everything's ready to go. They'll be going into the brooder first thing in the morning, and they'll be in there for probably 3 weeks.
and then they'll get moved into the grow out pen. And you guys will see that video, build series, on the grow out pen here pretty soon. It's going to be at least a 2-part. One is the initial construction, and then I'm going to do a separate video on how I put together the automatic watering system and build the feeders. So anyways, we will see you guys in the morning when we move some chicks over.
I tell you what, guys, our hatch rate is doing phenomenal. We're currently at 35. And when I just plucked these guys out of the incubator, there's still chicks hatching. We're going to have even more. There was at least one that was still going. They've already found the water. They've already found the food. I'm going to get the top on here and get the heat lamp on them. And I'm good to go. There's so many of them.
I've just got some tote lids and some cardboard over the top, retaining a little bit of heat. I initially had the lamp sitting on top and they were huddled underneath of it. That's an indicator that they're not getting enough heat. You really want them to just be spread out, moving around. You don't want them clustered up real close to the light, and you don't want them sitting way back away from it. If they're too close, they're not getting enough heat. If they're too far away, it's too hot. So this seems to be the balance. So I think what I'll do before the next batch, because these birds in about 8 weeks will give me some eggs that are already fertile and I can start incubating the next batch. I think before that happens, I'm going to take this light. I'm going to do exactly what MyShire Farms does, and I'm going to mount it right here in the side of the brooder. So that way they can set the distance away from the light that they want to be. Well, it appears the brooder's working good. Other than I will change that light bulb position. The poop tray is working out. I did prep the brooder by putting down some blue Scott's towels. I also took and dumped a little bit of feed on either side of the feeder. They found it immediately. They found the water immediately. Everything's going great. So I'm going to conclude this video here. This has been my first time ever hatching out any egg. First time with a new incubator, and the whole process. This wasn't that bad. Like, not at all. The incubator is a little bit difficult to control the humidity on when they go into lockdown, but like any new tool, you gotta learn how to use it. So I'm learning with it. I've had a very successful hatch at 73%. MyShire Farms guarantees 55%, so we're well past that. I am super happy with how everything went. So these guys are going to hang out here for the next 3 weeks or so, depending on the weather outside. If it stays warm, they can probably go out into the grow out pen at about 2.5 weeks. But they'll probably stay in here till 3. I'll probably start pulling the roosters out first to go into the grow out cage once they're old enough that I can feather sex them. But yeah, very happy with how everything went. Thanks for watching, guys. Next video out will probably be the main construction on the grow out cage. And then following that, we're going to do a video on the watering system and the feeders that I make for it. So look forward to that. Thanks for watching, guys.